Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Good morning.
I love the thingy you have here.
Thank
the brooch.
you.
Really nice.
Thank you.
Very, looking very girly.
Yeah. Thank you.
How you doing, Mariam?
Fine, thank you. He said I'm a girl. I'm fine, thank you. Today I just want to give a shout out to my old schoolmates from secondary school. So we have this WhatsApp group, and then there's this person that's always disturbing us. So Uche, I'm calling you out and I'm saying hello to you and I'm asking for advertisement payment after this greeting to you, because you keep saying you say your name, but just to the ladies, they are so wonderful. I mean, it's been many years in secondary school, but we still just talk and just like,
nice.
you know, we're still sisters. I think that's the thing about going to an all-girls secondary school. You just feel like you're sisters.
Right.
So
nice.
all of you, to Esther and
very
Nancy on your birthday, happy birthday, and the rest of the crew.
That's nice.
Because I did
all-girls school and
you didn't connect with them. Because I went to a mixed school, but I after boarding house, I did GSS in boarding house and then the senior in day. So I sort of like feel confused because those people that I sort of bonded with a bit during the junior, I couldn't be with them all through. And when I got into senior, everyone had already formed their clique, so I was a bit strange among them. So I really can't say I have friends from secondary school, so I feel very, very disadvantaged.
You have me, darling.
Yes, at least 10 years and counting.
I had that issue too because I left at a young age, but it was all good though. How you doing, Abejulu?
I'm amazing and grateful.
Okay,
Tomorrow is my event.
Okay.
Friday.
Finally.
Good.
The support has been so great. Like, people call me, we see you on TV, you want to be a part of the show. And I'm like, wow. You know, I've been a bit stressed lately because I was a bit worried. How am I going? This is my first event. How am I going to do this? Hey, and I'm going to be facilitating a course as well. I didn't plan to, but somehow I have to do at least one course. And I'm just telling myself, are you sure? Hey, I haven't been in the classroom for a long time. I'm a bit panicky, but everything is working out well. We are set, we are good to go, and tomorrow promises to be fun.
Well done. Good, good. We're waiting for the reviews afterwards.
Yeah,
And we'll take it around Nigeria and then we go to other countries in Africa. Trust me, I know how to expand things.
How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. I'm very, very good. You know, yesterday was a bit emotional. I spent a lot of the day talking on the phone with someone, and it was like, you have many things in your heart that you like. I tend to hold my emotions to myself. So it was really good to just unburden a bit. And you know, I'm taking a.
How's your mother in the Lord?
My mother in the Lord. Maybe I'll just send a message. As you said that after the show, I'll send a message to her. But I'm taking a makeup class, and my client is like sort of. I hope she's not watching. She's guilt tripping me into paying a lot of attention to her students. Our child is like 15 and she's come to learn makeup, and she's like, no, my baby doesn't leave the house. You're not giving her 100% attention. You are doing this, you're doing that. And I'm like, I've done this for 10 years. You've known me for 8 years. But I think people are really, they hold their children extremely like, this is my baby. Don't, no. Don't do this, don't do this. So I'm like, okay, it's a bit tough, but I even told her today that she should cancel the training, but we need to do what we need to do.
You look beautiful, Top Man.
Yes, I just wanted to say your makeup looks
amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, so my chest.
Your spinal chest.
I can't believe it. Oh my God, so pretty. I usually do my makeup myself and I don't do a good job.
Yes, you're always in a hurry.
So someone did my makeup today. Wumi, love
so
you.
lovely.
Thank you. I can't believe it. It's in my face. I'm not serious.
Mariah, how are you?
On national TV. Oh God. I'm doing good. You know, I'm under the weather a bit, and
you're not resting.
I'm not resting as much as I should because honestly, malaria just hits. You know, the whole. I need to get the house fumigated. It's just crazy. I don't know. Yeah, the whole mommy. I don't know. It's that phase. It happens. But hey,
You'll be all right.
let me not complain. We'll just thank
You'll
God.
be fine.
You know when you start thinking of how many people are looking for children?
Yeah.
You look at your own and be like,
And just be
Father,
grateful.
thank you.
I can just, because in prayer, I just say, Father, I give you thanks. Also, I'm like, are you all right? I give you thanks, Lord. I just give you thanks. So all I'm doing is just give you thanks, because I can't say anything. Just say, thank you, Lord. It's good. Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Thursday. We're gisting all the way. But first, we'll breeze through the front page. And we have a very, very beautiful special guest. Trust me. This woman, she has so much juice to give. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Presidency, PDP clash over economy and security. Police parade 79 kidnapped suspects and others. Ex-INEC chair Iwu for trial over 1.2 billion naira poll cash. Flood alert for Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, others. Soldiers kill 3 policemen and a civilian. Buhari Ramaphosa to meet over killings. Okay, picture of this 79 that are paraded by the police. Who has that story?
Yes, so the police paraded these people. Let me just get the facts out. Kaduna State Police Command has paraded 79 kidnapped suspects, armed bandits and other criminals. And the information from the Commissioner of Police, Ali Aji Janga, said that they recovered guns, they recovered 439 cattle from these people. So they're both involved in cattle rustling and all of that. So I'm happy that we're seeing, because the headsmen complain, the legitimate headsmen, and there are a lot of them complain that they are also being victimized by these bandits that have been victimizing the society at large. So obviously this group of people have also been rustling cattle, and they are...
I noticed the woman as well.
Yes.
And this is one woman was part of them. Soldiers kill 3 policemen.
Yes, I have that story. So this is the IGP is asking for investigations into the killing of a police officer, 3 police officers and a civilian. This is a weird story. So the police were moving a suspect who's been involved in a lot of illegal activities, kidnapping and asking for a ransom of 100,000, you know, so many criminal activities. So they were moving him from Ibi to Jalingo, and on their way there, soldiers attacked them and started shooting at them. Even when the soldiers realized that they were police officers moving a suspect from one command to the other, they still shot at them. They would kill 3 police officers, a civilian, and release the suspect, and that suspect is on the run right now.
So,
all right.
So, I mean, we need to look into this.
Yes,
what's happening.
Investigations are ongoing.
Let's move on now to The Punch. 2 years after, states await federal government's 10,000 health centers project. FG hasn't touched any Lagos PHC, says Medical Guild. Some PHCs now, churches in Akwa Ibom states. Customs split Ogun Command, Oyo impounds 93 vehicles. Soldiers killed 3 cops, freed kidnapped kingpin, says police. Beg Nigerians dump Southwest, Northern group tells Buhari. Residents protest as riot policemen kills Lagos youth. 65,000 Nigerians in Saudi Arabia for Hajj. IG special squads hit Southwest in 2 weeks. Okay, what stories are we taking in?
Major headline, it's the Punch investigative storyline again, and this time they are digging into back to the health sector, but the primary healthcare center. In 2017, the federal government promised to revitalize 10,000 primary healthcare center, and Punch is saying that many of that hasn't been done. So under the agency, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, 5.8 billion has been released, and yet states like Gombe said they haven't seen any money disbursed towards their own PHC. Lagos is saying no PHC has been touched. Oyo's issue is that they need to improve staffing and they haven't gotten the funds. So many states are still saying that they haven't gotten it. So
money.
What I want to ask is where exactly, because there is a breakdown of what has been released in the budget to this particular agency, what has the money been used for? And we are expecting, even though we don't have a minister for health yet, can we have a press release from the Ministry of Health breaking down all this agency involved, breaking down how they have spent the money that's been released
if they've
to them.
actually gotten the
Okay,
money.
this picture story of customers impounding certain vehicles, I think it's rice, and there's no story. There was no article to that. Okay, I was going to talk about the Oshomole saying that he backs protesting, but he didn't agree with Shore's tactics, because according to what Punch was saying in the headline, saying that Oshomole backs #RevolutionNow, false Shore's tactics. And I think what Oshomole was saying particularly was that you cannot lose an election and then plan a revolution. It just doesn't flow. So it's obviously suggestive. So, but he agrees that there's nothing wrong in anybody organizing a protest, a nationwide protest of that magnitude. Okay, moving on to Daily Trust. Flood, FG places FCT, 15 other states on red alert. Picture here also of all the various states that are going to be involved and what's going to cause the flooding. AMCON gets more powers in new law. I'll be more party conscious, Buhari tells APC. Zagzaki to leave for India weekend as Kaduna Malls appeal. Okay.
The flood?
Yeah, let's start with flood.
All right. So the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, have raised an alarm that the country will experience flood, and the 36 states in the country will experience different levels of flood. And they mention states like Niger, Lagos, Benue, Imo, Edo, Abia, Jigawa, Adamawa, Delta, and Cross River, saying that the flood we're seeing now will still continue in most of the areas. So, but they also said that for us to be able to avert the flood, we have to make sure that houses that are built along floodplains should be destroyed and removed. Then we should clear out our gutters, our coverts, make sure that everything is.
Because the picture I'm seeing in Daily Trust says that the cause for this flood is high rainfall intensity and flood from the upper reaches of the Niger Basin will be arriving in Nigeria in 1 month. So we have 1 month to clear the houses. And, I mean, come on. So the point is that it's nice. Thank you for warning us, but it's pretty it's coming late. AMCON.
Yeah, so AMCON there's a new law out. It has so many things on it, but I picked this first 3. It says it has empowered AMCON now to put bank accounts or anything or any account that's comparable to a bank account of a debtor under surveillance. So they are allowed to put your account under surveillance if you're a debtor. And then they can have access to any computer system component, any electronic or manual or mechanical device that is to be able to establish the location of funds. So if you're a debtor, they can go through your computers, through your phones, whatever it is that you have.
When they monitor your accounts, is it that they can block funds from flowing through? Because there are cases where debtors have cash come in, but they withdraw cash, but they don't pay the debt they are owing.
The thing is for AMCON to be able to know where cash is coming in, where cash is going. Because sometimes, and then the third one is they need to be able to, we have like confidentiality agreements where you cannot go through a person's financial records because of that agreement. But now it is not, if you're a debtor, that does not stop them from going through your...
Daily Sun, flooding, worst days ahead. We just talked about that. Kogi Assembly moves to impeach Deputy Governor. Northern Coalition demands review of political alliance with Southwest. El Rufai gives conditions for El Zakzaki's medical trip. Vanguard actually had a breakdown. We don't have Vanguard here. Edo Bauchi assemblies are ensure justice fair play, says Buhari. Who has the El Zakzaki's story?
I have the story. Vanguard, there's Vanguard. We have Vanguard there.
Vanguard is not here.
But I have the story. So he's definitely going to be traveling, hopefully, by the weekend. He's trying to get his papers, El Zakzaki and his wife, get his passports redone because they lost the other one when they had the issue in Zaria. But then the federal government is saying that they have to meet up with some criteria before they go. And the Foreign Affairs Ministry will have to confirm the appointments in the hospital in India, Medanta Hospital in India, before they can
just a few
go
conditions
there. Yes, a few of them. Then they have to undertake a write-up or a writing that they will return to Nigeria to continue their trial after that their medical treatment. And India should not give them asylum.
So Kaduna is saying that they're going to appeal this, that of course they do not, what they're saying is that they will not stop them from getting treatment. They're not against that, but they need to appeal it because,
And there's going to be DS's officials staying with them all through their stay.
We know.
Hey. Moving on now to The Guardian very quickly. ASU VCs differ on JAM's 18.4 billion naira from sales of forms. Picture here of Chairman Traditional Rulers Council. I think it's Bayelsa State. I think they're cutting a cake. Why does this cake cutting make front page? I never get it.
Because somebody is pushing
Shiites fight back, sue federal government over prescription. Arrest by proxy remains unlawful, police boss insists. Courts restrains National Assembly from taking over a low legislature. Okay, which one are we taking?
So,
major headline. ASU, who has that story?
Yes, I have the story. So the stakeholders of ASU in ASU are saying that the continued payments, as in they keep funding JAM, but then JAM is returning so much to the economy, returning so much to the federal government. They've put in about 18.4 billion from sale of forms back to the federal government. And now these monies are not used to equip the universities. So if they are giving so much, they even compare themselves to customs, saying that they are giving more than customs is bringing in. But then they should look into using it for the infrastructures in the universities, basically.
All right, one last story. So arrest by proxy, which is when someone commits a crime, a father is arrested in his place or a mother is arrested in place of the offender. The Enugu State Commissioner of Police, Suleiman Balarabe, is saying that that is wrong, it's unlawful. And, you know, he was also pushing for more modern ways of policing and the judicial system, and saying it's really sad that we're still using analog system to take statements.
Yeah, we had that with the military men that were found culpable in stealing the 400 million, and they arrested the mother and children.
So it says
people that are innocent, it shouldn't be.
So it's unlawful, and actually you can face the law if you were caught doing that.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, it's Thursday. We're gisting all the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, our first story is quite an emotional one. A 64-year-old man narrated how he found out that 3 out of 4 children of his aren't his. This came to light after he played the American lottery, the visa lottery back then for his family. And one of the major conditions was for granting the visa was a blood screening. According to him, this has caused an indelible scar on in his heart. Now, the question is, should he include these 3 children who aren't his in his will, or should he even tell them that he's not their biological father? Hey. Join us on the show is the former First Lady of Oyo State. Very difficult woman to see. At least 3 months ago, you're extremely difficult to see. Mrs. Florence Ajimobi in the building.
Welcome.
We have a whole First Lady in our midst.
I'm telling you.
Wow, your view, you're trying. You can join the conversation 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets.
You skipped some part of the story.
Yes.
Okay, just give me the juice.
Yes.
Skipped.
So he won the visa lottery. The precondition being that they should do DNA test. While doing the DNA test, they confirmed that 3, the boys, out of his 4 kids, were not his. And
I said all that.
they now, he confessed to, he told his wife about it. His wife was denied, but when he brought out the documentation, the wife had to confess, and that led to heart complications that cost her her life.
Hey.
Now,
the
the man,
right?
yes, the wife died. Now, the man is old and is writing his...
3 of the children, 1 is for his best friend, a friend that's like a brother.
Yeah.
Then the other 2 are for the house help.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
that's for sure.
So now he wants to write the will. Should he include the 3 children that he knows belong to someone else in his will? Or should he just give everything to his first child, which is his daughter? Or should he share with all of them? That's the question.
Now, these children are adults at the time it happened. So,
so now, this obviously is a delicate matter, and I don't know who likes to go first.
Hey, this kind of thing.
Yeah, Julie, let me come to you. But I'll let our guests get some time to think of our own.
Okay.
Let me come to you.
It's a painful story, really. You know, this is just... I want to say that woman was actually very wicked, because you don't do this to somebody you love now. How about?
Even if you hate
1, 2, 3, your house help. And he said in the story that he discovered that the woman was always paid a particular attention to the houseboy who has served them for 15 years. He didn't even know that the guy was sitting down, collecting and donating, you know. It's paining me, it's paining me, but I think they should have had the conversation with the children. I don't know how he agreed to go through with the marriage till his old age, and then the person who caused the commotion is dead. I don't know how.
Okay, so now...
But now that he has gone through it, and well, those kids, for me, those kids are his. Okay. He should just flow.
Okay,
I believe too that the children are his. These children are in their 20s. Very, very unfortunate circumstance, but this is the only father that they know. They do not know anybody else. And at first I would have said, okay, this would definitely affect the marriage. But I mean, I think God did the right, did something, and then she passed on. But now you already have a relationship with your children. What do you tell them? Why spoil something that's already good? They love you, they care for you, and even if you were to tell them today, it would not change how they feel about you. So I think that he should take it to the grave.
Okay, but let me come to you, Ma. Do you think he should even mention it at all? Okay, yes, he still intends to love them, treat them equally. But do you think he owes them that explanation, to at least the truth?
I think he does. I mean, for him to have peace of mind, he should tell those children, and also they're adults. They're adults, they should know. And the good thing is the woman is dead. The wages of sin is death. And God has, given her judgment. So, and if the man doesn't tell the children, he will forever, hurt. So, but once you let out your hurt, I think you have a kind of peace of mind. But I think you should still hold on to those kids because they did not choose.
They are just
be born by a woman.
It's nice for us to talk like this, ma, but in reality, Nigerian reality.
What is reality? When we say reality, what is reality?
Nigerian men many of them don't have let me not generalize, but many Nigerian men seem not to have the capacity to take this kind of issue.
Dead.
So, okay, what if she wasn't dead? What if she was alive?
Even if she wasn't dead, don't we mother adopted children? Don't we take children up and bring them up?
Exactly.
So when we look at it in the Bible, putting the Bible into this circumstance, God says in John 1 John 1:9, if you confess your sins, whether she confessed under duress or she confessed willingly, you should let go.
Hey.
So there are people that do worse things than that. Men.
What's worse than that?
No,
They bring women into your house too.
Incest is worse.
Yes,
So
yes.
incest is worse. So I feel that one, all the kids should be included in his will, because the truth is, if he didn't do the visa lottery, he wouldn't have found out that there was anything different about them. He had already taken them as his kids, and they have a right to his inheritance because he raised them. Two, I feel that the children need to know. A lot of times we tend to want to hide things because we don't want to confront them. And I like hiding emotions because if I confront it, it will hurt. It's better for you to just hide it than face the emotion. But if you can face it and help the kids understand, because like it or not, it will behave differently. You can't have that kind of information and your actions won't change. It takes God.
He's had it
It
for
takes
a long
someone
time.
that has God, not to have. It would influence it. It will be battling it on a daily basis. So they would see Daddy has been behaving differently. They won't understand why. So when he explains that, I found out this, but I still took care of you from that point till now. You are all included in my will, and all of you are my children. I just want you to know this. It will help the family heal together, and it will help him go to rest when he finally dies with peace of mind.
So, I think that man has the capacity to go to his grave with that knowledge because he's handled it for years. This happened when they were young. The wife had 2 years. No, the wife died after 2 years. He's in his 60s. Yeah. So it happened when they were young. The wife died.
I don't know the time frame.
They wanted to travel as a young couple. And now he's about to write. He's been writing his will and changing and changing. So let's say we have like 10 years.
Yes, about 10 years.
At least 10 years gap. He's handled it without letting the children know. So he can actually take it to the grave.
So that is for this story. But in a related story, let me come to you because I know I read your book and I think you have somewhat similar. I can throw in a bit of similarity here, where somebody takes care of a child for a long. You nurse this child from day one. The father was not in the picture. So the houseboy or the best friend did not take care of these children. Now, it's time for this child to get married. And is that houseboy that I remember that he's the father? Or is the best friend and I remember, I am the biological father of this child. I'm going to walk her down the aisle. You had a related story in your book where, yes, you had your son, your dad was not did not live with you growing up. And it was time for you to get married, and all hell broke loose because you wanted your dad to be part of that. In your own view, do you think it's right for that external, the biological father to play a role
during the wedding?
During that wedding, in that moment?
Not a prominent role. In my own case, my stepfather was the father figure to me. I lived with him for 21 years. I would have loved my dad to come and be part of that celebration, but give it to him. The stepfather was there for me, was visiting me in school, paid my fees, did everything a father should do. So why do I want to deprive him of the joy? For me, these guys, whatever their names are, the driver and the best friend, why do you want them to reap where they didn't sow?
Thank you.
They did not reap. They did not sow anything in the lives of these children. So why do you want them to reap as fathers in their lives? They cannot.
They may not even know.
They don't. Even if they know, they did not play any active role in these children's lives. So,
but in the school of thought, that blood is thicker than water.
I'll come to you, man.
Let me take this call. Allah, are you there? Hello?
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I just want to make some contributions, please.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to welcome the excellency there. I love what people are doing.
Thank you.
God bless you, ma'am. Now, I just want to make 3 contributions. Number 1, the man should just continue with the family because he will throw those children into confusion.
Yes.
Since their mother is dead and she didn't tell the man who the real fathers are. That's number 1. Number 2, there is a general misconception, man, that men are worse. Yes, you may be right, but let's look at it this way. A man can have a child eyesight, hide it and spend his money on that child. But there is no way he can bring the child into the home under the guise of belonging to that woman. So in that way, men are more dangerous when it comes to issues of family fidelity. Because you can bring other children home and appear and make it to appear as if it belongs to the man, which the man cannot do. God bless you, man.
Okay, I didn't hear part of what he said.
What he's saying is that there's a perception that men are worse, and it's not true because there is no way a man can bring a child into the house and force, make the woman believe that it's her child. A man can have a child outside, but a woman's situation where she falsely brings a pregnancy and makes the man believe that this is your child is worse. That's his own. He's arguing which is worse. Which is not.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can. If they could, they would have.
This
Because,
is worse. So.
See, no. Let me say why it's worse. It's only worse because really there's no way that she can do it the way that they do it. If a man had a womb to carry a baby, with the level of deceit that's happened in many homes, it shows that it's something that could be done if they carry the womb. But that's not the thing. For me, I feel that telling the children about it, I still stand by not telling them. But I know that there have been cases, I actually even know cases where health became a problem. So you had to give blood, or you had to, and you were wondering why can't you give blood or you can't donate something? So unless it comes to that point for health reasons, I feel, because what it happens, that it opens up a kind of worm. So the man now gets his peace. Now you have 3 sons who are now going to start dealing with this new information.
It's better we deal. Like I said, personally, I like to avoid emotional issues. But whenever I go to do my medical checkup, they will ask me, do you have history of hypertension in your family? Do you have history of diabetes? Is there history of cancer in your family? So I can say for a fact, we don't have history of cancer. My grandfather died of blood sugar, and a lot of people in my family, my father's family, have diabetes as an issue. But when I laid that claim, without knowing who my father is, then my father, knowing that information, has done me injustice by letting me go ahead without the right information.
Right, let me take this call.
Knowledge is power. Let's just share.
Hello, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Wisdom.
Yeah. Okay.
Morning, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Dr. Leah are looking very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. There is something I want to say. You know, the fact remains that the man should go to the grave with a secret.
Thank you, my brother.
When those children get to know, the biological child will want to hold an edge against the other one.
Yes, sir.
Because the child will now say, okay, these ones are not my siblings. We have the same mother, but we are not the same father. When the inheritance comes, there will be a problem.
Yes.
Take it for a fact. Because the children, they still love each other. If you have experience of a polygamous home, it will not become a polygamous home, but from the father's side.
My brother,
So do you see reason? Okay, thank you very much for let me come to you, ma'am. Do you see reason what he's saying? Because it's better the man just goes to, because it's like you're starting a war and going to sleep.
Yes, now.
I see it.
64 years old is not an old man. I'm 60. So when a man is 64, he can live till 80.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is he needs to have peace with himself. If something is bothering me and I don't talk about it,
But isn't that the sacrifice parents make sometimes for their children? There's some things we take with us for the good of that
what
child.
happens if the houseboy comes and tell the children that he's their father?
Which can happen.
Which can happen, or his best friend.
But I don't even think...
Okay, Adam says, how do you come to the conclusion that men are worse? Okay, I won't take that. Nigerian Yema says, the man should please include the illegitimate kids in his will, and God will surely forgive and bless him. Lawan Olabisi says, hello, beautiful ladies. If I'm in such dilemma, I'll speak with the children and allow them choose if they want their biological father in their lives or stay with me. Mrs. Ajimobi in the building. Interesting. You guys are getting bigger.
Andrew in Streatham says, please, did this heartbreaking story happen in Nigeria? That woman is a wicked woman. I hope she has gone to hell.
Oh, my God.
All right, so it's Thursday. We have lots of gist to talk about. We're still going to talk about you, your book, your life. There's so much stuff in that book. I read the book, but I didn't get to the political part. But I read everything about you.
That's nice.
But we'll stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So we're still gisting on this topic of forgiveness. How do you move on in this kind of situation? And I wanted to relate it to your own story, where you really wanted your dad to be at that wedding, but unfortunately, it didn't happen because obviously, we've said on this table before where we have suggested that the person who grew up with the child, who took the care of the child, can respectfully step aside. Understanding that, okay, this is the biological father. Do everything. I mean, we talked about it before. So the man respectfully steps aside for the biological father to do the needful, and a lot of people said
never
agreed. He didn't agree.
No, we didn't agree.
Shina Peters was on the show that day, and Shina Peters said that he would, if he was the father that was like a surrogate father, he would step aside and allow the father take that role. That was his own. I didn't agree with it, but I questioned the child that wanted her father, and you are that. You were that child. Why would you, knowing that the man abandoned you, want that same man to be at your wedding?
My own is different. My own case is different.
Oh, okay.
I'm a love child, like I tell people. So they were never married. So
can we quickly put put it in perspective as the child now? And tomorrow I hear that the person who I've known as my father for a long time is not my real father. Is now one OKK by the corner who I've been sending to help me run errands. That's my father, Chineke. It's not fair on me as a child. I don't want to know. I've seen you, I've known you as my father. Let it continue that way. Telling me now, so what do you want me to do about it? I should go and pick up the OKK and start taking care of the OKK, or you reunite with your...
Would it make a difference if you found out that your father was
an ailment?
It doesn't matter.
That was your father.
The person who raised me is my father. And that's it for me. I don't care whether it's Dangote or not. I'm good enough. I can make my father big as I can. So it's okay for me. Biko, don't come and give me another story.
No, it's like having an ailment from birth and you want your parents to keep it away from you.
Thank you.
You have an ailment, they've been nursing it. But you need to know your medical history. So whether Okeke is your father or not, you need to know.
That one entered. Yes.
So if Okeke has mental issues and you are giving them some signs, you should know, please. It doesn't hurt knowing. We are Christians. We believe in God.
On hell ground,
and the Bible says the truth will set you free.
Yes.
The truth is so key in every situation.
Why do you want to live in denial? Yes.
All right, let's move on to another story. You see, online, all sort of stories. People just come up with all sort of stories online. So we saw another story that we thought was interesting to talk about, but a young man who owns a company, according to him, disguised except for, disguised actually, he's the owner of the company, but he disguised like he wasn't, and only the manager and the secretary knew his true identity. Now, he spotted that his ex-girlfriend is one of the junior staff and immediately instructed his manager to promote her to personal officer. He came back to ask her for a job twice, and she refused, saying that she remembered the past and how he was so mean to her. Anyway, now that she has now known that he's actually the boss, what do you think? Should he sack her or retain her? I mean, this thing went online and people were saying, I kind of made up story is this, but regardless, made up or not, it's interesting to talk about.
Yes, I think he's made up, but I think he should sack her. I think he should arrive there in all his full regalia, and then he should sack her.
He did, please. He did. And she knelt down and she was begging.
And he said, and I would just say, I'm sorry, the wages of sin and unforgiveness is sack. I think she should.
But did you read that story? Did you hear about this story?
No.
So in this situation, if you are in that situation where you actually have something and you know that you have the power to sack somebody, would you do that?
My
would
ex.
Would you sack the ex?
My ex? It depends on how we broke up. No, but it's true. If the breakup was me that wanted the breakup, I was ready for the breakup. Probably I broke his heart or dumped him or something. That's a different thing. I'm coming, yes, it's more like compensation. But if he was the one that broke my heart, I was crying for days, crying for nights.
That's vengeance.
I now have, okay, I'm just telling you, I may not want to give him that opportunity to be close to him if I'm still hurting. But if I've let go, it's okay. Once he has the capacity to do the job, that's fine.
So this story has a twist. He knows that they had a relationship. When he saw her, he helped.
Yeah, he helped her.
You know, it wasn't about the relationship. It was like, let me help her, promote her. You now come in contact with that person and you decide to exert vengeance or hurt the person. I feel that emotional issues would hurt, but we must always learn to let go and forgive and always be kind to one another, regardless of what the past holds. Even if you choose to want to, like, I don't want to be in the same space with this person, I think the person hurts me, you won't cost that person his job. What she did was to cost him. You were deliberately hurting someone. That person deserves to be fired.
Kayode, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, you ladies are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And good morning, Mrs. Ajimobi.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, some of us still love you and your husband.
Thank you.
Yeah. On the topic of the man, 54-year-old man, yeah, if it were me, I would tell the children. I will let them know because imagine you don't know who you are. If you don't know who you are, then where do you think you are going?
Exactly.
If you don't like, this is the common song we sing in Christianity. I know who God says I am. But so you have to, what comes first, what and who you are, before you know where you are going to.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It makes a lot of sense. I think we're going to wrap up on this because we want to focus on you now. We're going to a quick break. When we come back, we'll focus on our guest. She has a book called My Life, and it's a fantastic book. And we need to learn quite a bit from her background, experience, and also as a wife of the former governor of Oyo State. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we go into our interview with our guest, let's take a few tweets. Go ahead.
So Femo Debanj says, please, what about if the children were from artificial insemination from donor sperm bank? Will you be looking for the fathers? Bond of the father and children relationships already exist. What about if you adopted them? Just move on. Oladapo says, similar stories abound in Nigeria. Sadly, how we find closure differs, but the man can choose to disclose to the kids for medical history only, but shouldn't deprive them in his will because the kids are his.
Exactly.
All right, so
OnePlus Entertainment says, interesting topic. Please, let's call a spade a spade. Those children do not belong to that man. The lawmakers will tell you more on children that are forcefully imposed on you. If those guys sue that man to court to claim their children, they will surely win him.
Old enough, no. They're old enough to choose.
So she's a woman of vision with strong business acumen, thirsty for success in her own initiative. She squared up to the challenges and insecurity of the Nigerian business terrain. She has successfully combined her duty as a wife and mother with being a businesswoman. Welcome with us again, the former First Lady of Oyo State, Florence Ajimobi.
Thank you. Good to have you.
You know, I would love to go into your background because I read your book and I just couldn't drop it. It was just so interesting to know how you said you're a love child and your background in Ibadan and how you met your husband, your first job, friend. You know, you actually had a very interesting life, I would say.
Almost easy.
You know, you see somebody pretty, you think that there are lots of ups and downs. I don't think you had that. You actually had a very good background.
I did.
So tell us about growing up, meeting your husband, and the whole works.
Growing up was an amazing thing. You know, when you're a love child, when you're with your dad, gives you the best, you're with your mom, she just wants to make it. So there was a kind of competition between both of them. And like I said in my book, I didn't meet my dad until I was 6 years old. Yeah, I met him when I was 6 years old, and ever since then, he was all over me, trying to make me happy, but I was still living with my stepdad. But he was an amazing father to me, so I didn't have any cause to want to go to my dad or spend more time with him. Growing up was beautiful. I went to the best school, Bodija International School. Ibadan was the best school then. We were being driven to school in a Mercedes-Benz, the old one.
You're big.
So what else can I ask for?
That was so
And I had a house help to myself. Even though my mom was young, she had me at 16.
Wow.
So years.
Okay, I read the book as well, and I just find it interesting the way you started off the story where you said, I'm a love child. So in my mind, I was thinking, does she mean she was the last born after so many children? And then sitting down, when you talk about it, a lot of people it's something they normally hide. It's something that maybe society would have frowned upon at the time that it happened. Did you get any form of that from society? Did anybody ever tell you, well, your father and your mother were not married?
I didn't give them any reason to do that to me. I mean, coming from a love family shouldn't be a disadvantage to me. I used it to my own advantage, and it made me know where I was going to. I was determined my own marriage must work. I knew right from day one, and I knew I want to go into marriage very early, make it work, because the urge to make it work was burning in me, and that's it.
For me, what you define as love is what other people define as the youthful exuberance of my parents resulted in me. So I realized that the way you couched it to make it look like it's not a bad thing, but society sees it as a bad thing. Was it defined for you like that? Was it that your parents told you you happened as a result of love, or you gave yourself that title?
I gave it to myself, because I mean, if they didn't love each other, they won't have me. He didn't rape her. They had an affair, and what led to the affair was a relationship, and they felt they were in love. And that was it.
Now, you grew up as a Catholic, and you ended up marrying a Muslim. And he was also a Muslim, obviously, from a polygamous family. He was the first of 23 children.
Yes.
Now, how does a Catholic girl get into polygamous? Because today, in Nigeria today, there's always that issue of religion. He's from the north and the south. Did that come up when this conversation started?
No, it never did. It never did. My husband is my best friend. He was my best friend, he's still my best friend. So when you have a relationship with a man, religion does not come in. And the most important thing, I know he's a Muslim and I respect him, he's the head of the home. I don't flaunt my religion. I don't flaunt it. When people are around, I don't let them know I'm coming from church. I have to respect him, because the moment you start flaunting your religion in the presence of people, they term it as a weakness on the man's part. He can't control his wife. The Yoruba will still be on your lesson. So if I start and I come in and then I say, I'm going to church, I'm coming from church. Why do I want to do that? So there's an understanding between the two of us.
So how was it for you raising your kids, knowing
that they are Christians?
Oh, they all decided to follow.
My husband knew he didn't have time to teach them Islam. So he allowed me. But now my son has changed. So I don't force religion on them. You see, for me, religion is a thing of the mind. Whether I'm a Christian or a Muslim, it doesn't make you the best person.
Okay. I wanted to also ask, you are an advocate for equal opportunities for women. You always want women to be at the front burner, treated equally. So would you call that feminism? Because we've had this topic where certain people who talk about women, they are seen as they are feminists.
No, I'm not. I don't think it's feminism. I believe that if I have everything it takes to get the same opportunity as a man, give me a fair chance. But I'm not going to rub shoulders. I still believe that my husband is the head of my home. Finish. And that's why I have peace. I've been married to this same guy for 39 years.
Wow.
And if there's reincarnation, I will marry him again.
For real?
Yeah. For real. For real.
That's good. There's this question that we stereotypically ask every woman. How do you balance being a mother and your job? Things that we would never ask a man, because the job of this parenting is that of a woman. But genuinely, women make sacrifices on their own self in order to protect and preserve their family. How was that journey for you? Because as young women, we struggle with, I want to hustle and become everything I want to be, while we know we have children that need our attention at home. how did you go through that journey when you were younger?
There's a time for everything in life. If you do the wrong thing at the wrong time, you have yourself to blame. There's a time to devote absolute time for your children. I mean, when we got married in 1980, and I worked from 1980 to 1984. When I had my third child in 1984, there was no way I could continue working. So I had to make that decision that I'm going to manage. It's not easy when you work for 4 years and you have your own money, you know. So I just had to make that decision.
Great job,
and it's a decision that has made me so happy and fulfilled. Because if I had left those children to one house girl, there was no way you could employ 2 house girls. Then I had only 1 house girl looking after 3 children.
You wouldn't have coped either. You know, when I was reading your book, and you know, the theme just got to me. You had an easy life. I mean, based on the book, as you said, you were taken to school in a Mercedes-Benz. You had your own help. You had gifts from your dad when you wanted. You know, life was just really easy. And most people, when they write books, they tend to write it from a place of maybe pain, and you're trying to tell a story. So I'm wondering, so with the beauty, because you also talked about your looks and the male attention you got, so I'm like, is there a story that we may need to hear now from a different perspective, where when life seems rosy, when things seem easy for you, is there a lesson from that?
It's a lesson of determination. Like I said, I am a love child. And, you know, right from 6 years, the first time I met my dad, I made up my mind that I'm going to get married. And I'm not, because I asked my mom so many questions. Okay, so if he didn't want to marry, why didn't you wait? You know, I've sat her down and asked that question. You should have waited. Maybe after 10 years, it would change his mind. But she said, no, she can't wait. She was 16 too, and she felt hot. You know, so she had to move on. But, you know, I believe that your circumstances of birth should not be a disadvantage to you. It should be like a motivation for you to determine whatever you want to be in life. So and that is what I did.
So for you,
life like a rainbow is, I'm a child with so many parts.
You chose to make it beautiful.
There are days that I miss my dad, you know, because when friends, you know, they taunt you in school. I'm very light, and, you know, a black man comes as my father.
So for me, reading your book and listening to you now, I would say that the story that you decided to make your story beautiful.
Okay, let me take this call. I have to hold it for a while. Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to talk about the first topic.
Go ahead, it's your view.
Most time when you are a child, and my name is Kevin, not Kelvin.
Kevin, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. As a child, if you've been told that this person is not your dad, before you know it, you start reacting funny towards that person. I grew up to the age of 6 knowing one woman as my mom. When she left and another woman came in, and she made me realize that woman wasn't my mom, everything about me changed. So in the situation, that man, even though it's good you tell the child, but once you tell those children, they start behaving differently, unconsciously, towards the man who has been taking care of them.
All right.
And
Thank you very much, Kevin. All right, talking about modeling, because I know that in your book you also said something about the Esho family were like your model, that you wanted your family to be like that. They were your own model of what a family should look like. I grew up also, I had a family, but I'm from a polygamous family. But my neighbor, Mrs. Adeshoko, Mr. and Mrs. Adeshoko, they were Christians. They had the nuclear family. They were always together. And they were my own model. Like, I wanted my family to be like that. In your view, a lot of people today say, because of my background, I can't have this. Oh, I come from a broken home. I have this, I have that. What would you advise? How do people begin to start creating models for themselves to know how to make their lives better? Because today, people always give excuses for why they have broken homes, broken marriages, broken children. There are excuses all over. So I'd like you to share some
That's the
advice.
whole essence of writing that book. A child from a broken home, or a child from a marriage that never existed. You know, been married for 39 years. I don't believe, and I keep saying it, your circumstances of birth or growing up should not determine your way of life. You should be what you want to be. Make a choice. I mean, if my mother is an illiterate, does that make me want to be an illiterate? If my father is not educated, must I choose not to be educated? I should be a better dad, a better mom, you know?
Let me bring you to being the first lady. And we know, in the our political men get this attention from women. Power is attractive. Once you come into power, even women that would just be, they would be wholly around you, will suddenly find you attractive. How did you deal with the female attention your husband would have gotten as a politician?
Even my Megad, my gatesman, that is gatesman to Senator Abiola Ajimobi, when the moment he started working, he got attention from women. So, my man is my man.
How do you deal with it? Do you just ignore it?
No, I just ignore.
You don't?
Because I know he's not going any... Never. Never. Why do you want to know? What you don't know doesn't hurt you.
Really?
He's my friend. Even some things I don't know, he will tell me. Please. And I will not hold it against him.
That's interesting.
You see, that is friendship. It's different from love. I keep telling young girls, friendship is different from love. My husband is my friend. He's not just my lover, he's my friend.
Your paddy.
I can't do without him.
Right.
So I know that you had so much growing up. And when you meet people sometimes who have that much growing up, there's this chip on their shoulder. They haven't suffered. They haven't seen life the rugged way, like most people are hustling. And so they carry themselves in a certain way. But you have been able to impact your society so much. I know that you have an orphanage in Ibadan. And you were able to use what you have to try as much as possible to help people who are less privileged. How did you get to that point where you didn't look down on others around you, but decided to use your influence and affluence to help?
They just didn't look down on me. They're my role model. They never looked down on me. They never thought, because there was a time my mom traveled out of Nigeria with her husband for almost 6 years, and I was left in their care. And they never looked down on me. So, you know, they gave me a platform to see life differently. They gave me a platform to want to, because they really impacted into my life. They treated me as if I was their third child. They have only 2 children. I mean, I was in the boarding house, but eventually they moved me into their home. I was living in their home. So what else? So,
let me take this call from Ajibola. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to Mrs. Ajimobi. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. And the lady that decided to not accept. Hello,
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so the lady that did not want to accept.
Sorry, the phone. Yes, Mario was something.
Okay, so
let me
I want to ask concerning raising your parenting, and you know, most people when we have our kids, there are 2 sides. I don't want my child to suffer what I suffered in this world, so we tend to want to like overcompensate our children. And there's a case of, oh, don't use washing machine, wash with your hands, and I don't agree with that. I feel like let your child enjoy modernization. Where do you stand concerning those style of parenting, and how do you advise young mothers now to raise their children?
I think we should expose them to both sides. When my kids were growing up, my first 2 kids, Bisola and Bimbola, on Saturdays and Sundays, the cook doesn't come.
Okay.
Bisola cooks on Saturdays. She makes moi in the morning for legusi for lunch. Dinner is nothing. Bimbola on Sundays makes yam, egg and corned beef stew, and in the afternoon she makes jollof rice. We had a cook, but you have to teach them. What if they get married to somebody that can't afford a cook? What will happen? So, and then every night they must soak their underwears and wash it in the morning. The washing, we had this small washing machine USC was selling then, Tomboy or whatever they call it. It was there we could throw, because that's why I throw the diapers of the children, you know, nappies to work. But I make them use their hands. Right. You know, so we should expose our children to both sides. I mean, if...
In the political circle, were you exposed to people who tried to take advantage of you, even not in the political circle, in life, in career? People say you're yellow, you're pretty, attractive, you're working at inside communication.
Don't forget, I'm a very tough woman. You know, my background made me tough.
So people don't.
So you know where, I mean, before a man would make advances at you, you must have given him one. But by the time somebody is looking at me and I go, what's your problem? He doesn't, I don't need to say a word. They back off.
People actually, I need to dwell on that.
Please dwell on it.
Because some people make it look as if you can't control these things. What you're saying now is that a woman can actually control.
Of course, please.
Because people say,
yes.
people come, it's not my fault. They always, men are all over me. It's not easy.
Yes,
yes, you might not do anything, but you just feel as if there's so much pressure on you that these men are coming
I
to
don't
you.
believe in that.
So you feel that a woman has the power to stop it.
No, yeah, of course you do. Of course, you have absolute power to stop a man, you know, let them know where to stop. You can say hello to me, but by the time I don't know you, and you say, hello, Mrs. Ajimobi, how are you? For what? Hello is hello, I move on.
And you know, you had this from when you were young, because in your book, you said when you met your husband, he told you to shoo, and you're like, what?
Yeah, because I already had an opinion that my father used my mom, so I'm always ready.
That's helped.
I'm always ready.
So I just wanted,
okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, you made a decision to stay home, you know, when you started having more children. So a lot of people now would say things are not as easy as they used to be. I cannot leave this well-paying job. And we always have these conversations where we're saying maybe a husband who is not earning as much should stay home while the woman works. What are your thoughts on things, arrangements like that?
I don't believe in that. When I stopped work, it wasn't even easy because my husband and I put the money together. I was working as a secretary and I was earning more money then. Anyway, you know secretaries, they get more money, tips and everything. But if I had, you know, held on to making that money, it would have affected my children. So I believe that it's a sacrifice, even if I don't make anything again. Whatever my husband is able to. And that was how I started my business, because I wasn't working again. And it was not easy for my husband to put everything on the table for the family. So I started selling.
Talking about your husband, he was a very controversial governor. Controversy left, right, and center. The IFLS story.
I won't use that word.
Constituted authority.
Misunderstood.
Misunderstood. Okay, so he was misunderstood. Constitutional authority, IFLA issue, the fact that he didn't get this political support he needed to come back, like he wanted to become, get back into the Senate and all that. As a wife of somebody who is politically misunderstood. How did you manage that support system in that period?
You know, when somebody is your friend, you're always there for them. And I just look at people, this is somebody that has been misunderstood or misconstrued. He won election in 2003, was the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In 2007, he contested as governor. He won, but they didn't give it to him. In 2011, he won. In 2015, he won again. It has never happened in the history. So what are the controversies? You see, when people come into power, I tend to feel like they're isolated. So from the public, and so they rarely feel the pain of the people. And when they now give you the feedback, it'll be like people are just talking because you actually are not feeling their pain. So I was in Ibadan.
I have to go on a break, sorry. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Goodness, I want to go personal, but I've already started on a political note.
So stay there. Let's go personal.
But I feel like the people of Oyo that feel a bit aggrieved that the expectation they had of the governor did not reach them. Do you feel that
what kind of
expectation with the people?
What expectation?
Maybe in terms of health and education, the place still looks largely dirty. You know, like there's this. We're not as organized. I wasn't. At least.
Were you there 8 years ago?
Okay, so we should be comparing that they did better than before, as opposed to
nobody can finish governance. Nobody can do the whole job. Even in your home, you cannot be the cleaner, the cook, the mother, the wife.
Connected with the people.
Of course we did. As a mother, to the best of my ability, I have played my role. Right. I have done what I can do. Let the next person move on.
You did a lot for you.
Nobody can finish anything.
Yes, you actually
my NGO is on health. I treat 50 people in each clinic. I have 11 clinics. I treat them free. 550 people every day, and I'm still doing it. What other way would I connect? I have an orphanage. I have 12 children in that orphanage. They go to the best schools in Oyo State. How else do I connect? I empower widows. I give food to each local government every month, 500 women in 33 local governments. How else do I connect? Look, once your conscience is clear, do your best and leave the rest. Let God judge. I don't want to please men. I'm accountable to my God. Yes. Let God that sees the innermost heart of every man judge us according to what we have done.
Fantastic.
That's it.
I want us to go back to personal, yes, to bringing up children, because I know that there are certain women who they want to actually leave the job so that they can have time to take care of their children, and they do. But then they find out that they are present, but they are not really present. They are not able to really connect with these children. So the mommy is there, but then the mommy doesn't know what's going on with the children. She takes them to school, she does all of that, but that emotional connect is missing. Could it be as a result of probably it's the kind of person she is, or what do you think about it?
I don't think it's the kind of person she is. You know, with children, you must have a relationship with them. Even my girls, I have 3 girls that are very close in age. They gang up against me when they were growing up. When I go into their room, they are talking, they stop talking. But I don't leave. I'm determined. You have to be my friend by force. You know, when they get to that teenage age, they're talking about boys, and I would just stay on the bed with them, lie down. They say, Mommy, go to your nurse. No, what's the gist? What are you start again, rewind. What are you saying? You know, then eventually they opened up. Then they said, look, when we say things, you go and tell your husband. I said, never. I promise you, I'll never tell him. You know, so you must force yourself.
I'd like you to advise me. I will advise women, maybe me. If my husband becomes the governor tomorrow, how should I organize myself, and how were you able to organize yourself in the sense that in the home front? Were you cooking for your husband? Were you still doing that homely thing, or were you just the first lady of your state? You know, had all the
slaying up.
I was still the wife of Florence Ajimobi, and I enjoyed being his wife. You know, we had people that were cooking. I've always had a cook, but there are days we say, what rubbish is this that they have cooked? Believe me or not, for the next 1 week, I'll be cooking his food. And then when he says, I say, I cooked it myself with all the love in me.
You sound like a very loving and attentive person.
Very.
What are the romantic things your husband has done for you, please?
No man can beat him. I'm going to send you a picture every Valentine's Day.
Please tell us.
Sets up in the house, not outside. Eating for 2, roses, pictures, wedding anniversary, inside the house, because he couldn't take me out. And you can ask any young commissioner or young SA in Oyo State. I post it and they all say, Daddy is putting us on the run.
Under pressure.
Because he knows, he's not from that background, but he knows that is what is going to make my wife happy. And he wants to make me happy. That's all. You know why he wants to make me happy? I'm his best friend. Even if there's anybody outside that is claiming hold on the man, she's just a friend. I'm the best friend, number 1 any day.
Background.
So let me please go. Okay, see, I wanted to ask another question, but what you just said now, I have to say. You said, even if the one outside is a friend, your best friend, we now, our generation,
be a best
no friend, all enemies, I'm the only friend, the only sister, the only mother, the only girlfriend. So how?
No. Don't you have male friends?
No.
Platonic relationship.
We don't
have. We don't have.
I have actually. So let me know.
Why do you think he's having an affair with a friend of his that is female?
No, see, my own
Somebody's burying the man or having an affair. They don't like them having too many female friends around them.
When blame us nowadays, this new generation, all of us new generation
if it makes
wives,
him happy.
They tell us that we are too, our eyes are too chuki. We are too jealous. That our mothers, you know, your generation, you are more relaxed. You say, no, just come back home.
So we should just be hanging like.
If he's your friend, he will know where to stop, please.
Some of them don't
know why they don't tell them. No, let me tell you. Look, if my husband does anything outside, there are times, you know, he goes out and comes and says, all these stupid girls. I asked the girl to dance. I mean, when we were younger, I asked the girl to dance with me at the club, and, you know, I said, what's your problem? My wife is prettier. But I don't hold it against him. I don't grudge him. I want him to tell me more. And we joke over it.
Hey!
But you see, the fact that you are married to him, you don't own him. Get that into your head. You don't own him.
Hey!
Were you there when they gave birth to him? So why do you want to die over him?
Jesus.
Hey!
Please let him be. I beg.
She's
give him freedom. My husband, Friday night is his night. Right from year one, he goes out every Friday.
Without you?
Of course, yes. He has to bond with his friends.
I am chewing gum. We come into
then when he wants to do anything, then he will hide.
Chewing gum my husband everywhere.
I told you earlier, I follow Bisola on Instagram. She's a hot babe. I mean, she's a beautiful mother as well and a wife. Do you tell her this thing?
Of course.
I know she's also a stage mate.
Her husband is my best friend, and we plan against her.
Okay, so but the way you're saying it, and you've been married for 39 years, I feel it would be very, very unwise of us not to listen and learn, because this probably is the key to why your marriage has lasted.
So, let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase what you just said. Are you telling us now that even if peradventure,
yes, I catch
that our husband, so at some point something happens, one Sister Jane, something happens, what should we do?
And he apologizes and says, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. Let it go, please.
Ma, let me say something. Like
you see now, that's Bisola.
This brings to my mind the conversation I had recently with someone your age. And she was saying that when in their days, when things get broken, they fix it.
Together.
Yeah. Now, when things get broken in our age, we throw it away. We don't have the patience. I've been looking for somebody to fix my washing machine now. I've not seen. People are not even learning the job. Imagine, learning the job of fixing. When your shoes get bad, I hardly see cobblers around now to fix it for me. I just throw it away. Yeah, so
in relationships too now.
We throw it away. So what changed in our generation, and what can we do to get better?
Exposure. We send you out too early. Exposure. So you are never around us growing up as we did with our parents. You know, we were with our parents, so they were able to imbibe all those cultures, the traditional cultures, into our lives. We didn't have that opportunity. So what I did when my kids were out of Nigeria, I made sure they come home every Christmas.
For that bonding.
Yes, for that bonding, and you know, still getting the culture that you are Nigerians. Before you know it, there was a time my daughter was telling me, I'm from America, I'm an American. Bisola. She would tell me she's from America. Mom, I'm from America, but whether you are from America or from Ojaoba, you must come home every Christmas. And then I would have a New Year party for them, and they will invite all their friends from their secondary school and primary schools.
Are you a mother-in-law? Like, you know,
I don't have, no. My son, I have only one son, so I don't even have a choice.
I mean, we saw that wedding too.
And I was telling Yetunde this morning that I don't normally eat after a certain time. But yesterday, I was all alone in the house. She lives in Lagos. She brought lunch to me at work. And then in the evening at 9:30, she brought dinner. And I don't eat at that time. And she knew. She said, okay, I didn't bring carbs, Mom. I brought only salad and chicken. I didn't want to make her unhappy. I ate the food and I finished it, and she was happy. I don't have a daughter-in-law. I have a daughter. So now I have 5 girls.
Yes.
And 4 sons, waiting for the last one to add the 5th son. So
amazing, Ma, amazing.
I mean, if you look at her, you think she's my daughter.
You know, we have to wrap up. We only have a few minutes left.
I feel like you've painted the perfect picture of your life, but I understand that that's not the reality. You just chose to focus on the positives.
That's what I want to.
That's her reality.
That's my own reality. And that is what has worked for me. And it has given me peace of mind. It has given me fulfillment. You choose to live the life you want to live. If you want to live a miserable life, if you want to make your husband feel he's a cheat, so will it be. But if I want to let my husband know that no matter what you do, Florence Ajimobi,
we die.
I tell him, from here to my grave. He will say, who stays from here to my, I say, from this house to my grave. So if you say anything, I'm not going anywhere. You know, sometimes when men do that, please, you're always complaining. If you're not happy, you can guys say, you're wasting your time, man. From here to my grave. And the man is just in a state of shock. That who says that to a man? I say, this is home for me. I'm not going anywhere.
One tweet, please. Lawson Olabisi. The dear ladies, listen and learn from Mrs. Ajimobi. 39 years of fruitful marriage is not child's play.
What are you doing for your 40th year anniversary?
I don't know. He plans that. I don't do wedding anniversaries.
Okay, men, hear that one too.
I don't.
Yes.
But let me tell you one thing. He does it with the children. They help him out.
No, men don't do that now.
So let your children get to that age.
Don't generalize now.
In our own state, wasn't doing it.
When my kids were younger, they used to help daddy buy their birthday cards. He's always been a busy man. So when they went to school outside Nigeria, I felt it. He would forget, and then they would call him, Daddy, have you bought mommy's card? Hey, mugbe, 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 mugbe. And then they get somebody to help him out. So, but we should always understand.
Okay, beauty regimens. How do you maintain your...
Do you people hear? She said no carbs at night. Please tell them.
Everybody knows no carbs at night. That's old gist. Nobody eats carbs at night.
Every morning with my husband, 7 a.m. Even as governor,
really?
even as a governor. Wow. So that is, that's our golden moment when we chat and everything. We chat and we hold hands. We chat.
I love you.
Just what happened,
Because I'm going to see my husband tomorrow.
So I mean that is it. Please just make your husband whatever he is. That is the only thing you should like out of a man. If you have a man that snores, if you find a man that is not snoring, he's not normal. I'm telling you.
They're just promiscuous. They're just some women say that men are just bad.
They know you. They are not crazy. They know you know.
They are not crazy.
And then you catch your husband doing something, and you pretend as if nothing happened. He comes on you. Say, he's not a madman, please. He's not a madman. With time, they change. Your attitude should change them. They are not your children. Biola cannot be Florence. Florence can never be Biola. I don't want to make him myself. God did not create me as the head of that home. He's the head. I must give him that respect. Hey, my love will bring out the best in him. And that is what has happened. So please, 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 ladies.
Mr. Ogbo.
Just
coming after
give
you
it
today.
to them, Even when they've done something wrong,
Give it to them. Did you hear that?
We just came back. Let me tell you, we just came back on Monday. We went for our daughter's graduation. And at the airport, he said I had his card, and he said he wants to buy something. He took the card from me, and he went and bought a perfume for himself. And then he said, I bought perfume for myself. I was very upset. Why didn't you buy me? So when we got to the gate, I said, I want to buy a perfume for myself. I went, I bought. And then I said, you bought it. Why didn't you buy for me? We buy for it. I wasn't thinking straight. And that was it. Of course, I was very upset that at that point you were buying for yourself. Why didn't you buy for me? But if I had
voiced it out,
faced him at that point and, he would have
escalated.
And this is something over the years that you became better at,
that is
right?
it. Talk to one another.
Time has gone.
I'll come back. Please come back. I'll come back to have you come back. Because there's a lot to talk about to the young ladies out there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of marriages.
If you want us to shut down the whole of next week,
shut
it down. Yes, we have here back to back.
Not being what they are. People are just managing. We need to tell them the truth. And life is not all about the movies, all this. What you watch on TV, please, there's more to it. We can live in our marriages happily. We can make ourselves happy. We need to be happy. Because our children are watching us and we think they don't understand.
We have to run. Thank you so much, Ma. We have to run.
It's a pleasure being on this program. Thank you so much.
Nothing else to say.
Nothing.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, we'll be schooled.